Are you a part of a step family or know anyone who is?
I'm not, but I know a lot of people who are.
No, I'm not part of a step family, but some of my friends are.
I'm not, but I have friends that are.
My best friend, yeah, she is.
I know people who are.
One of my closer friends is.
Two of my best friends are twins, and their father died when they were younger, and now they have a stepfather and a whole other family.
All my friends' parents are together, actually.
I'm kind of part of one, my mother's boyfriend's family, but I don't live with my mom.
I do have a stepfather.
I have 2 stepbrothers, 4 half-siblings.
Has it been more of a positive or negative experience towards them? Explain.
I think it's been more of a positive. I've got some friends that have had, experiences that are bad, and then some that are more positive.
There are positives and there are negatives for having a step family. The positive is gaining new friends and new experiences, and the negative is if you lose that family.
All my friends, it's more of a negative because they have like new people coming in their life. It's pretty hard being in a step family.
The situation's kind of been both positive and negative. We didn't like that family too much, so that pushed us away from our mom. But in the positive, we moved away from my mom and the stresses we had with her and moved in with my dad. And I've gained so much more living with my dad.
I think it has been a more positive experience for her because she learned how to share with her siblings, and negative because she has to live with like a stepmom and a stepdad when she goes to visit her mom.
I would definitely say it's more of a positive experience because it gives me a better outlook at life.
It's been positive because it's like you have a family within a family, and you're able to see how maybe not everybody has the perfect mother and father, fall in love, have 4 kids. It's all good, and it still works because it doesn't make you different. It doesn't make your family less than anyone else's. It's just family's family. That's it.
We know, unfortunately, that happily ever after is not always the ending of every marriage.
Oftentimes, marriages fail or a parent passes away, leaving a terrible void in our lives.
Our sense of security is undermined, and we have anxiety for what our future holds.
That anxiety may intensify as a parent or both parents move on with their lives and find someone new that they would like to share their life with.
If that new partner also has children, our entire family dynamic has changed dramatically and can leave us feeling displaced.
A step family may be formed, and we need to find a way to adapt.
Step families, learning to love them. That's what we'll be talking about today. Hi everyone, I'm Justin.
And I'm Carolee.
And this is Real Faith TV.
The teens on the street we met in the beginning of the show shared some positive and negative aspects of being a member of a step family.
We'll hear from them a little later in the show, as well as meet our studio guests.
But first, let's meet our spotlight guest, Emily.
Emily lives with her mom, her brother, and her sister, her stepdad, and her half-brother.
Next, she'll tell us a little bit about what it's like being part of a step family.
I have my regular mom. I have a stepdad. I have an older sister who is my real sister, and an older brother that's my real brother. And I have a half-brother, my little brother. He has the same mom as me and a different dad. The positive aspects of having a step family is I get to have a little brother. Kind of at one point it was like I had 2 dads, to watch over me. Some negative experiences is whenever we all get in trouble, we always believe that our little brother gets in trouble the least, even though it's really not true, but it's just easy to think that. One of the most difficult challenges is just accepting it and know you can't do anything to change it, knowing that it's not going to be the same. One of the joys is my little brother, because even though we're not fully related, I think of him as like my real brother because he is. And having a little brother is really, really cool. A valuable lesson that I've learned from this whole experience is just whenever something bad happens, just keep going. Not everything's going to work out, and try to make the best of everything. Well, when it all happened, I was really young, and my older brother and sister they knew what was going on because they were older than me. Some of the benefits of having a new blended family, someone is always going to be there for you. It's more people to be behind you and help you. It shows good things can come from a not so good situation at first.
According to the University of Wisconsin, 50% of marriages end in divorce.
And 60% of second marriages fail.
The U.S. Census Bureau indicates that about half of the 60 million children under the age of 13 are living with one biological parent and their current partner.
The U.S. Census Bureau also reports that in the year 2000,
there were more stepfamilies in the United States than there were original families.
Let's meet our studio guests and find out where they fall in the statistics.
Okay, they are Justin, Chloe, Abe, Sarah, Colleen, Alex, and Allie. So how many of you are members of a stepfamily?
Well, both of my biological parents are remarried, so I have a stepdad and a stepmom and a couple of stepbrothers and sisters.
I have a stepmother, and she has her 3 kids. Then my dad has my brother and me, and then also my dad and my stepmom have my half-brother, and now my stepmother is pregnant again. So there's a lot of us.
I live with my mom, and it's just me and my brother. But then my dad and my stepmom live in New York, and they have my 3 half-siblings, 2 boys and a girl.
I have 2 half-brothers from my dad's side. One of my brothers actually looks at my real mom as his real mom because he's not really close with his biological. So to me, my half-brothers are more like just my real blood brothers. There's really no difference.
I forgot, I also have a half-brother and a step-grandmother as well.
Family friend of ours, he has a stepfather, and also a few of my cousins. My Aunt Christine remarried once, and she had kids in the first marriage, and the man that she married had kids from his first marriage, and then when they got married, they had their own kids.
My mom's dad died when she was little, actually, and her mom remarried. So I actually have like a step-grandpa, but because I haven't known any better, it just seems like he's like my biological grandpa.
I'm not part of a step family, but I have a lot of close friends that are.
Yeah, same as Sarah. I have a cousin and a friend that have step families.
There's no doubt that there are many challenges that all members of a stepfamily face.
Some of these challenges aren't much different than those that original families experience.
Next, the teens on the street share with us the challenges stepfamilies go through.
And some valuable lessons that can be learned in a stepfamily.
The challenges I faced was dealing with like the new surroundings and my mother calling them family. No, they were not family.
Try to find something that can make you think of that person as family. And that's very difficult because it's very hard to replace family. That's definitely the hardest part. Just trying to find a connection to whoever is new in the family.
When my friends have the step parents, sometimes they don't really get along well because they're new and they want like their old family back. So they fight a lot more than what normal families to me do.
Obviously you're gonna go in not knowing anything about this person and you have to live with them and learn to understand their needs. So I think that's the most difficult part of living with someone who isn't your actual parent.
Getting used to it, something new, a change, because you know it's not your real father and or your real mother, so you might act different about it, or you know you might not feel like you have to listen anymore.
I think the hardest thing is getting along with the sibling or the step parent.
Getting along, finding that place of who are they in your life, because it's like you're not your father, but you still have to show respect. And basically, you just have to work to gain each other's respect.
You have to share. Whether you're sharing a room or you're sharing, a parent, you have to pretty much just share your life, and it's a big adjustment.
Valuable lessons I've learned from it, I will never, ever do what she's done.
Learn to accept their flaws.
You can still have family, a second family, outside of your blood, you know? So it could show you that we're more alike than we think, and we could all connect.
That family isn't just having the same parents. Family is love for somebody.
Just because you're part of a step family doesn't make you any different from any other family.
An article by Julie Philby on blended families in the Denver Catholic Register states that in cases of divorce and remarriage, therapists recognize that families don't end.
Rather, they spread out and reorganize over multiple households.
Children raised in a blended family can develop a split sense of themselves when they have 2 different households and 2 sets of parents.
Next, Emily shares how she and her siblings adjusted to the changes and new dynamics of her family.
We have 3 different last names in our house. My mom has her maiden name. Me and my brother and sister have my dad's name, and my little brother and my stepdad have my stepdad's name. It's just annoying and repetitive to explain it to a whole bunch of people, and nobody can ever get it. A difficult time for this whole experience was always leaving. Every other weekend, we would go to my dad's house, and the 3 of us, my little brother, he'd be so upset. He would have no one to play with all weekend. He would always be upset that we left, but as soon as we came back, it was all normal again. It always seemed to fix itself. Whenever we were at my mom's house, we'd be missing my dad, and then we went to my dad's house, we'd be missing my little brother and that whole family. Since we spent most of my time at my mom's house, me and my brother and sister would make the best we could when we were at my dad's house. Sometimes our dad would take us to the movies and the arcade down at the boardwalk or something like that. The things you remember are always from those fun little trips. And even though we only spent 2 or 3 days out of a month with him, we always tried to make the best we could and use our time wisely when we were with our dad. Rules were a bit different at my mom's house. There were strict bedtimes, dinner requirements, and little things like that. But when we went to our dad's house, he would let us stay up late, watch movies. At first it was hard adjusting. After a while it got easy, knowing what to do at what houses, like what rules are expected of you. My stepdad has always been my softball coach, and he's always been the one telling me advice. Whether I'm at bat or in the field, he's always been helping me. Knowing that my stepdad sacrifices his own precious time for my softball games really makes me feel like he loves me and he treats me as his own.
What kinds of difficulties did you or your friends living in step-families face?
My step-family has been there since I was a baby, so I was always near them, always with them whenever I went to visit my dad's house. Since my brother and I are in more activities, we don't go there as often. I feel like I'm out of the circle. I don't know what's really happening there. My friend has a different experience, though. Her parents got divorced when she was 13, so it was a lot harder for her to have a new sister in her life.
I have no difficulties in my house with my half-brothers, none whatsoever. They're like when I was first born, they're already 13 and 14, and I grew up with them. They're just like my blood brothers. There's no half, to me, there's no half, no step. It's just they're my real brothers. But for my cousin, he has a stepmom. It's not so easy for him. He doesn't really give me all the details, but he just tells me it's a really hard time with his stepmom and his dad and his sisters.
I agree that what age you are when the event happens plays a big role in it, because I know my parents were split when I was really little, so my stepdad's just kind of always been a part of my life. So even though sometimes we have troubles connecting, he's still always been there. Whereas my friend, who her parents split when she was older and she could understand it all, she hasn't really connected back with her dad, or she can't forgive him or her mom for it, and she can't talk to her stepmom about anything, and it makes it really hard for her, and she's angry and upset all the time about it.
I actually have never really had any difficulties or problems with my stepmother or anything, or my step-siblings. I mean, we've been together for the longest time, and I always see them on holidays, and we're always pretty friendly towards each other. My stepmother can be a little insane sometimes, but in a good way.
The family friend I mentioned earlier, he's this guy that lives with us, and actually his name is Efren. He's actually it's kind of like my older brother. Recently he mentioned to me yeah, I get along with, he calls his stepfather Julio by his name, and he's like, yeah, I definitely get along with Julio a lot more now that I'm older, I'm more mature and things, so I definitely noticed a change in his relationship with his stepfather.
Sometimes the difficulties you encounter when adjusting to a new family structure can prove too much for you to handle alone.
That's when you need to talk these difficulties out with your parents and share your feelings.
If this approach doesn't help resolve the issues, then you may want to consider speaking with a counselor, or instead, an adult in your life.
And have an opportunity to be heard, and perhaps receive some guidance.
It's important not to keep your frustration bottled up.
Build up your own network of support to help you get through these tough times.
Next, the teens on the street share their advice to teenagers who are a part of a step family.
They also point out some of the benefits to blended families.
Let's check it out.
What is the best advice you can give for someone facing a new blended family?
Don't put walls up. Be open to anything, because family's not there to hurt you. Family's there to support you.
Just stay strong, and although you probably must not like it, you have to go through it. So why not be happy about it and accept it?
Talk about what's going on and see what advice someone else could give them, and let your feelings out. Don't hold everything back, because it can get really bad.
Try and make the best of it and try really hard to get along with the other family.
Try to appreciate them as much as you can, because not everybody has a family to go home to.
Try to like think positive when you're like around them, so it's easier for you to like control yourself if they're like someone you can't get along with.
Let it happen. Don't make prejudgments. Just let them be who they are, and you'll find your place in their life.
Try to get to know them and see if you guys can have a good time together.
Just stay positive. Everything will work out. God's there for you, so He's not going to put you through something you don't think you can handle.
Some of the benefits of a blended family are new experiences and just looking at things from a different perspective, because you always get new ideas from different people.
I think some of the benefits of being in a step family is you have like more siblings to hang out with, and it's easier to like, you have more friends and like you can go to them for advice.
There are none to me.
You have extra people now to support you no matter what.
You get to see a lot more. You get to learn a lot more. Like my father, he takes me certain places. My mother takes me certain places. I learn different cultures. My stepmom's Italian. I'm not Italian. Just it's a little mix of everything.
Meeting other people that act different from you and what you're used to helps you a lot in life.
You have more people there for you. Definitely can help you through hard times.
My new family has changed me because I became stronger, and I've learned some experiences and learned things that I didn't know before, and it's brought me closer to my faith.
Julie Philby writes in her article on blended families that
neither step-parents nor biological parents should force intimacy or rapport with their children.
relationships take time, and children especially need time for trust to be established.
Next, Emily shares how her relationship with her stepdad grew over time as she matured.
And how special her half-brother is to her, so much that she couldn't imagine her life without him.
In this segment, she also offers some advice to teenagers and parents in blended families.
One time I was frustrated because my stepdad referred to me as his daughter. I was younger. I thought, I'm not his daughter, he's not my dad. Who does he think he is? As I grew up and I got more mature, I realized he really does love me, and I love him, of course, and he is like a father to me. Having a stepdad doesn't get rid of my feelings for my real dad, and it's like having two dads almost. I couldn't imagine my life and how it would be so different if I didn't have my little brother. We're 2 years apart. We do a lot of things together. We sing in the choir together. We went to the same school. It sounds silly, but he's always there for me. Like one day I'll come home really upset from school and he'll just say the funniest thing and it'll just make me laugh. We don't treat him differently because he has a different father than us. He is our little brother, and that's how we see him. Some advice I could give for a young person that is experiencing this is know that it wasn't your fault. It's gonna seem like it's bad at first. For parents, treat your stepkids like they're your own kids, and then everyone will feel like they're all one family. You need to know what it's like having a step family before you judge it, and I expected that it wasn't gonna be easy, and we're all gonna get frustrated at times, you know, just like a normal family. Being a part of a step family definitely has changed my life because it makes you really focus on what's important, and it makes you stronger. You look at certain things that you would get like upset about before, like silly things like a friend talking about you or something like that, and then you realize like there are so many bigger things going on in life and you don't need to worry about the little things.
What advice do you have to teenagers who are living in a step or blended family?
Definitely to be supportive of like the other kids' decisions. In my case, one of my older brothers doesn't talk to his biological mother, and I support that because you can't like force your brothers and sisters talk to their real parents or whatever. So definitely to be supportive towards your stepsisters or brothers, and to love them just as they are your blood.
My friend, when he had his stepbrother come into his life, they didn't like immediately force each other to like hang out all the time. They let it develop, and now they're not just like half brothers, they're like best friends. Like I've never seen them apart from each other. It's really amazing.
I'd have to say don't be embarrassed by a situation, embrace it. When I was younger, my stepmom and I were picking up my half-siblings from their school, and one of her friends was like, "Oh, your daughter looks so much like you." I was like, "Thanks." We're not related at all. But you know, that comes with having a step family. People are going to get confused, but it's all right. I took it as a compliment. My stepmom's pretty. So I didn't care. I know people don't know our situation. When people ask, I always explain it to them, and I take time to explain it to them so they know for my situation and future situations.
I think it's important to be patient with them because they're not used to your habits and you're not used to theirs, so you just have to develop on them and not immediately get angry if they do something differently than you did.
Yeah, like Ali said, let time do its job and to let the tolerance develop into you for your step-families.
I would definitely say just try to build a relationship because some people don't have a family and a nice home with, with a family and love to come home to. So definitely embrace just family in general. As Christ is the center of our faith, he should also be at the center of our families.
Faith and prayer can help to not only build strength in ourselves,
but build strength in our families.
This is, of course, important to any family unit.
Prayer and faith can help us to navigate through any troubles we may have, especially those we face in our blended families.
Praying to do better, practicing virtues like patience with our new families.
Praying for open-mindedness so that we can better understand the members of our step-families.
And praying for the ability to forgive each other when we make mistakes.
Next, we asked the teens on the street how they think prayer and faith can help teenagers living in step-families.
Prayers helped me because I've been able to talk to God and read the Bible, and it's gotten me through so much. The move was hard because I moved my junior year, so I only had 1 year in this school that I'm in now, and prayers helped me through everything.
Without prayer or a friend or anything like that and a support, it's really hard to deal with.
It helps you focus more on what needs to be done.
It gives you hope for something. It makes you know there's something better than just what's right here.
Just pray. I mean, he's going to take care of you, so definitely having faith through it all and just staying positive will definitely help out.
It'll give them a reason to keep trying, give them a reason to want to be part of the family and want to do what they got to do.
It's comforting to them, I guess.
Your faith, probably whatever you believe in, probably tells you accept people, don't judge people. So you're just you're feeling, all right, I shouldn't judge my stepfather, I shouldn't judge my stepmom, and you start feeding into that.
It's something no one can take away from you because you always have someone. Once you know you have God, you know you have someone there. There's always someone listening.
Emily didn't always pray, but when she started to pray, it really made a difference.
Next, Emily tells us how her faith helped her not only personally, but it also helped her family, especially when her dad passed away.
Growing up, I really didn't pray, but when I started to, it really made me closer to God because I always felt like I needed to pray whenever I was frustrated with my family. If you pray, then you will get closer to God, and He will be there for you always. Being in church just brings us all together, that we all love each other. Our parents having faith really helped us to be together, get through the difficult times. A few summers ago, my dad passed away, and my stepdad, he really helped out. He really made sure we were okay. Strengthening our relationship with God helps us with our difficulties, like any difficulties in that matter. A passage in the Bible that helped me get through some of the harder times was, "Do not be afraid, I am with you." You know someone of a greater power than you is always behind you and is always going to help you. Every situation is different, every step-family is different, but having God behind you always lets you know that someone's there for you.
The way that I connect my faith with step-families is that I keep in mind that Jesus' stepfather was Joseph, and he was one of the greatest fathers and one of the first stepfathers that's mentioned in the Bible. Keep in mind that they don't have to be an awkward situation between you guys, and to just love and respect them the way that Jesus and Joseph did to each other.
My stepmom, she's not very religious, but she is Jewish. I get to have that experience of going to celebrate Hanukkah at my step-great-grandma's house and finding the hidden matzah. So it's really fun to see a new aspect on life, but my 3 half-siblings are actually raised Catholic, so since they don't have a maternal figure to look towards to explain their religion to, I try to be that towards them. It strengthens both of our faiths.
I talked about having a step-grandpa earlier, and well, my grandpa who passed away, he's actually Chinese. So it's fun to see the different cultures, because my new grandpa is actually Irish, and so we get to experience all of those things that Irish people do. And then with the Chinese side, we get to experience like the big Chinese dinner, like the 7-course meal, and it's fun.
We need to remember that whenever entering a new relationship, including that of a blended family,
We must do this with hope and mutual respect.
the new adult in your life can't take your original parent's place.
But they can find a place in your life if you let them.
They too can learn to respect your boundaries.
If you are honest about your feelings,
The key to all relationships is the willingness to listen,
sometimes to agree or to disagree.
but to be respectful of one another's feelings.
Hopefully, in the end, love will grow in your step family.
Do you have any special stories about how you adjusted to your step family?
We'd love to hear from you,
Contact us at realfaithtv.com.
or share your thoughts with us on Twitter.
And we'll leave you today with this from Peter's first letter, verse 5.
Cast all your worries upon him, because he cares for you.
Remember, God cares for each and every one of us.
Don't be afraid to give him your fears, your worries, your concerns.
Allow him to be your support as you overcome the hurdles you face on the road to learning to love your step family.
Thanks for watching.
We'll see you next time on
Real Faith TV.
God bless.